having some issues and some problems, and Tammy knew he was the greatest singer in country music, and she wanted to get him out on the road again, get him on his feet again. He actually lived on our bus. We had one bus when I first joined her for the family and everybody, and some of our most fun memories are when all the girls and everybody would come. You remember, Tina? We would have mats on the floor and everything, and in the middle of the night, if you got out of a boat, you want to make sure you didn't stand on somebody's head. But anyway, I was staying with her at her house because I was still living in Texas, going back and forth. And this particular day, she said, Paula, she said, come downstairs. And she had this big, huge living room on Franklin Road, the big house over there that we loved. And she said, be downstairs at 2 o'clock today because we're going to rehearse with George. We're going to take George on the road with us for a while and get him back on his feet until he can get his own van and his own bus again and make sure that he gets some help. And I said, and now listen, I did not grow up in country music. Even in Texas, I knew who Lena Ronstadt, James Taylor, and Carole King were, and that's how I learned to sing in gospel. But I didn't know a lot of the artists in country music besides Willie Nelson from Texas. So she said, come downstairs and George is going to rehearse with us. And I said, okay, who's George? And she was so sweet. She just died laughing and she said, oh, honey, he's just one of my exes. I'm going to let Jan see if she can think of something here.
Oh, let's see. I've known Tammy since she first came to Nashville. And I have a lot of memories, a lot of wonderful, great memories, but most of them I can't tell. So that's a problem. But at one time, a friend and I, we had a houseboat out on Old Hickory Lake, and George and Tammy, Big George and Tammy had a houseboat next to us. And everybody, all the boat people, like come 4 o'clock in the afternoon, they were mostly into the sauce, into something. And Tammy and I, neither one drank. So we were the ones that were doing the cooking, and for all the drunks. And so this one day, we were cooking, and I don't know. Well, I don't know whose boat we were on. We were sharing and everything. And Tammy and I looked at each other, and all the other people that had been imbibing quite a bit were on the deck. Tammy and I looked at each other and said, something's wrong with this picture. We're stars, aren't we? Or are we? I said, I don't know. At this moment, I think we're cooks. So we just looked at each other and grabbed our purses, and we left. And we went down to the Peddler, which was down in Madison at that time, and had great steaks. And we were sitting there and said, wonder what they're going to do when they go to get some food. Who's going to cook? I said, I don't know and don't care. Anyway, one of those times, a lot of them, at one time, George had something, he threw it in the lake. And I said, no, you can't. It was a ring. And I said, George, you can't do that. And he dove in after it. So he came up, but I'm not sure about the ring. There's a lot of.
I was going to ask her, Susie, where are you? Susie Q. Okay, we need her in here too. I don't know, I think you might remember this one. You know, and this is when we had 2 buses, so the girls and poor Rick would be with us on one bus, and then the band was on the other bus. But we tried to make up things to do to keep our sanity, because sometimes we travel days at a time. Do you remember when we all got one of Tammy's blonde wigs, and you and me and Susie and Tammy were sitting up front, and we opened the windows, and, you know, Where's Waldo was out at the time. So Tammy said, let's play Where's Tammy? And we all had her blonde wigs on. We told the bus to drive it by as the band bus, and guess which one was Tammy? And she did cook. We would wake up in the morning, and they would be outside at a roadside stop making breakfast for everybody, omelets and everything, and they'd buy the pots and pans, and Tammy loved to cook for everybody, especially her biscuits. I think we're the most well-known. Susie, come here. We're just sharing some funny Tammy memories on the road. There's just so many that we could tell you. There's just so many, and we need to write them all down and get them down. But there are so many good memories of everybody being on there. Susie, come on up, sweetheart. And Susan, if you want. And Tina, if you want girlfriend, you probably got some good ones on your mama. Do you have any more, Jan?
I just wanted to say, Tammy was one of the dearest friends that I've ever had. We were just very close friends. And at this certain time in my life, I had some tragedies in my life, and I was going to quit. I said, I just can't find a reason to sing anymore, so I'm not. And we were just friends. I already had records of my own and everything like that. But I said, I can't do it anymore. And she said, you can't do that. And I said, sure I can. And she came over and she said, I'm going to England. She said, and I really would like to have my buddy with me. And that's how it come that I sang with Tammy. And she saved my life, really, because of not only my career, but I mean, literally me. And so that's one great memory of a dear friend. She did literally save my life.